Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signar. We are live.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. There you are. How's it going, man?
It's going very well, man. How are you?
I'm good. Look, I appreciate you coming on enemy lines here. We clearly always don't see eye to eye on these topics. Jody even acknowledged he's going to bring his tolerance up. We're going to try and have a civil discussion because, look, I'll start here. I got hot because Look, I don't have a problem with the Snyder Cut. I don't have a problem with Zack Snyder. I have a problem with the way Ray Fisher has gone about things. And I have a problem with these fans out there. We call them the cult. It's a small minority of fans. And every fandom has them. But this sort of this group of fans that will just believe whatever is sort of told to them. And to me, sometimes we don't actually know what's going on. And so I don't like this sort of like, and the one I will start with is this music clearance issue. We can start there sort of as a common one. You know well aware of what's going on with this. The Snyder trailers were pulled. Look, could it be a music issue? I guess. It seems to me like there's clearly some behind-the-scenes drama ever since Ray brought up Toby Emmerich. It seems like there is definitely some trouble brewing as to what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I'm not privy to it. Maybe you are. Maybe you can enlighten us. But I'm just like, how do you not license a song you've already licensed for Watchmen? I'm sorry.
Well, the reason why there's a couple things, but first I'll just go ahead and say the Snyder Cult, whatever they are, they do not just listen to everybody, because I've been telling them shit for since 2019, and they hated me back then. So they only listen to what they want to hear, and that's it. And you know what? At the end of the day, I can only say what I know, and if they want to hate me for it, that's cool. Like I relate this back to when people were saying, well, the Snyder Cut was complete, now we're getting a new film. Bullshit. And if they would have just listened to me and a few other people that I'm associated with back in May of 2019, people would have known, no, it needs 40 million to get finished for that version, but it still needs to be completed. Like it's done as far as a cut is concerned. It exists, but it's not finished and completed, ready to go, in theaters. And because they were going against that, because they were so mad that I broached that subject for whatever reason, they decided to just go, no, you know what? It doesn't need 40 million. It's done. And I was like, guys, that's not what, I know for a fact it's not done. You're going to tell me that it is. People are going to think it's done, so that when it comes out and people are like, oh, you got to spend money to finish it. Guess what? People are going to be like, well, I thought it was done. Well, that's where we're at now. But anyways,
kudos for admitting that. I got to say, because a lot of people won't even admit that, Jody. I got to say, right? We have seen people who won't. So, bravo. I appreciate we're meeting in the middle there. All right. So, but let's go, and then Jody chime in.
The music.
But the music.
So
yes.
the music.
So go ahead. I'm curious. What is your response to that?
So I know for a fact that Leonard Cohen song, he didn't have permission to put that on there, to release it in August. And I say that, he created that trailer in 2018. He created that trailer in like June or May of 2018. He had the entire song. That was just because he did it. Like if I was going to create a trailer and I put a Leonard Cohen song on there and I post it up, do I have those rights? I don't care if I used them in another film or not, because when I used them in a film, guess what that was? That was for that specific film. You don't just buy musical rights and go, well, now I have them for a certain amount of time. I can use them on whatever I want. No, you buy them for specifically that asset. So I don't know all the legalities of it. All I know is if he made that trailer back in 2018, he did not buy those rights in 2018 because he was just making it just to make it. When they released it, guess what? Unfortunately, he probably didn't have those rights to put it on there. So he had to do that.
All right, fair. I will say, okay, I hear you, but how did they? Why would especially if they had it since 2018?
Well, no, they didn't have it. Snyder had it. He literally. It's like I said, it's like me making something on my own computer, making something as a trailer. Like I could get any song I want. I could do whatever I want because it's mine. I'm doing it myself.
So all right, so
Warner Brothers.
Well, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Okay, so all right, even if I will humor that and say, okay, so he had it. It seems more far-fetched because he's had it whatever since they would have had it since May then. as soon as they were making negotiations to be on HBO Max, you'd think, Jody, chime in if you want, but you'd think Zack would be like, hey, I already made a trailer. You'd think AT&T would have already seen it. You would think they would have had months for legal and other people to have a hold of that trailer since their announcement. And between the announcement and fandom, you're only reaffirming to me that that was not cut together last minute. They had it, and you're telling me Warner, HBO, whoever is responsible, they're legal, decided to not do their due diligence to get that checked. To me is a red flag of like, I'm sorry, like and again, if you don't know, can we at least agree? Well, then maybe we don't actually know. Maybe there is a power play move there to sort of say, it's even to Zack, like, hey, Zack, sorry, we're having music clearance issues. Hold on. I mean, when Ray called out Toby Emmerich, does that not cause some big seismic waves, which Ray is aware he's doing? Couldn't that have caused some seismic waves to potentially have them throw their junk around to be like, oh yeah, cool. You want to keep playing this, Ray? I mean, isn't that possible?
I mean, is it possible? Yes. Would he have done it? Would Emmerich have done that? Absolutely not. Emmerich's on his literal last sinking line. He is basically what AT&T has done and Warner Media. They've literally picked off every single little like lifeboat person that he could have. And they're now giving him the entire, here, it's all the responsibilities on you. Here you go. We want you to be the reason why you fail and get fired. Because they don't want to fire him. And you know what? At the end of the day, will he get fired? I don't know. But I do believe that he is going to, you know, for lack of a better word, he's going to fuck up pretty soon.
That's strange to me. I want to say something to that. Why would they give a guy a promotion when they don't like him and they don't believe in him?
It's not they don't like him. This is, you got to remember, this is AT&T coming in as new management, right? They only know him because he's with Warner Brothers. He was there, right? And Sarnoff was AT&T's hired. So they're going to want their own people, and every single person that has got removed has been because they were either already there or they were a replacement or like fill-in. You get what I mean? And so Toby Emmerich, he's for an established person that has run a quote studio, he's there. Like he has that respect, and you know what? He's been doing it for a while. I'll give it to him, right? But AT&T, when they came in and they saw everything that was happening, they were kind of just like, well, let's go ahead and start micromanaging this, but not making it obvious. That's why if you look at everybody that's been around Emmerich, they've all started to fall off and get fired or leave or retire. So
doesn't that tell you that they believe in Emmerich if they would give him a promotion for a full green light power? That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any business sense.
Well, if you're just looking at it from a outsider's point of view, absolutely. You're like, why would they give him a promotion? Because I'm going to tell you this, a lot of Snyder fans were so pissed off. They were so like, I can't believe that guy's going to be, you know, doing all this. I looked at it, and plus, obviously, I talked to people that are in the Warner Media Group side of things. And basically, it all comes down to they did that so that they can go, you are now in charge of everything. We want you to fail, and we want you to be the reason why you lose. That's it.
We want you to fail, so we're going to put you in a position of power, even though you have over 20 years of experience by lifting up corporations to fail. I mean, I think, but here's one more thing. Okay. Why did they fire 3 AT&T higher up executives who were above Toby Emmerich then?
Well, they didn't necessarily fire him. Those two were the Greenblatt, and
one went to New Line Cinema.
Right. Well, those two, if I'm not mistaken, there was 2 of them that were what's it called?
One got
not fill-ins
company entirely, and the other one went to work under New Line Cinema, like under where Toby was at. That's like a demotion.
Right, which is fine. But you got to remember, though, if I'm not mistaken, those 2. I'm trying to find the word. Whenever you're interim,
demoted.
That's the word, interim. They weren't there to stay there. Like, okay, and you know what? Even if they were there to stay there, Jason Kilar was like, "This shit isn't working." You know, when they released HBO Max, you know, were they happy? They might say it in the press that they're happy, but they weren't. I mean, they were for a little bit. But
I believe
AT&T wants Toby Emmerich to. All right, so let me get the picture that you're pitching here. They want Toby Emmerich to fail, so they fire their employees that were above Toby Emmerich at AT&T and demote the other one to New Line Cinema. And then they take Toby Emmerich and raise him to ultimate power in hopes that he will not do his job that he's been doing for 20 years, somehow fail, so then they could fire him.
So who was above Emmerich that they fired?
Emmerich was the head of both of the AT&T executives were above Emmerich because Emmerich was working for New Line.
But wait, no. Emmerich was working with WB this whole time.
Yes, under New Line Cinema. It's a subsidiary under.
No, I know that. No, he's been over Warner Brothers this whole time.
Yeah, but it was the head of
he made the change from New Line. Yeah, that was years ago. Like what, 5-6 years ago.
And the AT&T executives were above Emmerich.
Not at that point. They were sharing both greenlight opportunities. They were on equal
Toby Emmerich
footing.
Toby Emmerich had no greenlight power at all.
No. He did. They were sharing it. He had some greenlighting on the studio side. There was another one that had the Warner Media greenlight, studio greenlight, whatever. And that person,
Greenblatt.
Yeah, and that person right there got axed.
Yeah.
So those two basically had both greenlight approvals. One on
the Snyder
streaming
Cut
service.
is the only issue worth talking about.
The other one.
Thank you.
The other one.
Thank you,
it's
David.
funny. I was like, that's a weird thing.
Donation. Sorry, he's
So you had one person on the WB exec side as far as the studio was concerned, film theatrical releases. Then you had another person that was greenlighting studio HBO Max and streaming stuff, movies and shows. Those are the two positions. Well, that person that was doing the streaming got let go. So Emmerich basically just took over for both of those.
All right, so let me bow down and agree with what you're saying here. So they were on equal levels, and then the guy who was on equal level for AT&T got demoted or fired, and then they gave Toby Emmerich full power, which was a promotion.
Correct. It is, and I never said it was a demotion. All I said was they're doing that so that he could be the reason he fails, rather than.
Or
hey, we're just letting it go.
Well, I was just going to say, I was going to add that, right, Jody? Because the reality is, right, I don't know if I believe it, but I hear you, and it's like, yeah, Jody, what I was going to say is, it is common. You throw someone in the deep end to see if they can swim. And the thing I was going to ask,
he's already proven to float.
Right, well, that's what I'm going to say. Like, if he proves to be successful, then what, right? Because the truth is, sure, okay, you can put someone in that position to see if they fail, and sometimes they do, and then you have a reason to fire them. But sometimes they are then successful, right? And then what was the intent then? Then you're like, oh shit, that guy we were trying to backstab ultimately has got the power, right?
Think about it like in a business standpoint, right? It's a win-win. Either you get rid of somebody you don't like, or they succeed over and above and beyond, and they're producing things for you that you didn't think you were going to get, right? So it's a win-win. The only difference is, you know what? Unfortunately, he was involved with all this Snyder stuff. So he's going to have to tread lightly when it comes to anything regarding Snyder futures or anything like that. And here's the thing. If you don't think that there's pressure on what?
So the head with all the green light power has to tread lightly with anything Snyder? That blows my mind.
Yeah, well, explain. I mean, why is that,
absolutely.
Garza?
You got Jason Kilar 2 steps above Emmerich, who's going, I want the Snyder Cut. This is the whole reason why he was like preaching about it. This is the CEO of Warner Media.
Jason Kilar is not doing green light power. That is given to Toby, though.
He's not doing green light power, but you think Toby Emmerich's going to tell Jason Kilar no?
Yeah, that's his job.
No, not to a CEO. See, I mean, he can make his advice. He can make his advice.
When you give someone creative control.
I get you.
Control. That's their job. Yeah.
I understand. I know, and I get that. But what I'm saying though is because the Snyder Cut has been so passionately driven by fans, you were not. They're not going to do it publicly. I'm not saying he has to be like promoting it or be talking about it. But when it comes to any kind of green light capabilities, if there's opportunities for the Snyder Cut to happen and succeed, and you have Emmerich that's sitting there going, nope, don't want to, you're going to have Sarnoff, you're going to have Kilar, both of them are going to be like, what are we doing? And guess what? Emmerich's going to have to either answer for that, or he could do what he probably should do and just let things happen. Right.
All right.
That's my point.
Look, I hear you. Whether we agree with that or not, fair. I will just say, all right, fine. Right. It's a possibility. Let's just agree to whatever on that point. I don't want to get hung up in the politics of what's happening at DC because I do want to answer some of these other questions of the music clearance. I feel like, all right, so we did come to a middle ground on that of saying, sure, anything's possible. They could have had the rights. My leaning is still, I don't think it's that far off base. Everyone's calling me crazy, but no, pulling those trailers from HBO Max properties is odd. It's like, and someone who's dealt with music clearance, I've talked to people on this topic, I've seen on YouTube, there's some red flags there, that story. And honestly, even Zack might be like, I don't know what's going on. Like that might be a, hey, something's disappearing just because we want you guys to remember we are in control, Ray. Because the timing of that with Ray's sudden drop of Toby Emmerich in that Forbes article was no joke. So I want to pivot to the Forbes article because I want to get your thoughts on Ray. I know you stand with Ray and you believe all that's there. And I know you've had some insight. We've talked a little bit. But look, where do you stand with this Forbes article and Shiraz losing the job? Also, can you confirm, actually, for me, something that I've been hearing? Is Shiraz like part of that Snyder fan base, pretty hardcore? Like, have you heard of him? Do you know if he's been really entrenched with the rest of that fan base? I don't know if that matters, but I'm just curious.
I've known him since 2017.
Okay.
Has he been entrenched with all the toxic side? Absolutely not. He actually stepped away, and it was because of him that the petition actually got taken out, because the person that was originally running that petition, the Snyder Cut release, whatever petition, he was starting to say some bad stuff. Like it was on, borderline just bigot stuff. And so Shiraz basically pulled out and he said, you know what, I'm not going to be a part of that. In fact, I feel like we need to get that removed. And what he also did was he started realizing that there was a lot of bad people in the Snyder Cut, like the vocal minority. They were getting really loud. They were getting very, very toxic. And, I dealt with them, and I'm the kind of person that I could laugh it off. I could say, fuck them. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I'll sit there and talk shit all I want. But Shiraz was trying to build a portfolio, and he was doing it legitly, and he was building things. Is he a Snyder fan? Yeah. So what? I mean, I don't.
All right,
if he's a Michael Bay fan, or if he's a Fincher fan,
it could just point to his own bias, right? Of like, well, I believe Ray, because the next question the next question is sort of that Forbes article was revealing quotes and things that clearly were removed. Do you have any insight to offer on why those things were removed?
Well, the only thing that obviously was removed was the quote unquote hearsay from what he said. Hey, he didn't know for sure, and at the end of the day, racism, when it comes to something like that, I mean, that's you have to prove with intent, right? And even proving with intent, that's going to be difficult unless you have literally a video of somebody saying, I'm doing this because of this reason, because I hate a certain race. I mean, there's no way that you could sit there and prove that in court. Now, the purpose behind it, I don't know why he would bring that up, why he said that.
You're talking Ray, just so we're clear. You don't know why Ray brought that up.
Yeah, talking about Ray. I don't know why he would bring that up, except for the fact that he was baiting Whedon. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of, because this whole time, this whole period, he's never talked about race. He's only talked about on-set behavior.
Correct.
And the allegations that on-set and all the stuff that happened there. He never talked about race. I can tell you that I know what he's referring to, but that's still, it would be difficult for me to even try to prove.
Well, so this, because Jody tried to, I guess, didn't like this, this tweet. We can show this.
Which is funny. It's a stupid tweet. Like, it's not. If you thought that I was like showing that this proves the racism thing is real, I mean, come on, dude. Like,
this is not what it says, though.
If you don't know me, you're gonna take that tweet and you're gonna go, "Oh man, I can't believe that guy." If you know me, you're gonna laugh your ass off.
So you're being sarcastic here.
Yeah, but I mean, it's funny because you look at there's a black officer right there, right, in the first photo, and in the second photo, he's white. It's just funny, like, to me. Now, I will say that there are noticeable things that happen in those reshoots compared to the original film that are similar to that. Like, it does happen. Was that? And again, same thing with what I'm just saying. Can I prove the intent of, okay, well, Snyder had an African-American officer there. Wheaton's coming in and putting up a white officer because he wanted to replace the other officer. Like, dude, I can't prove that. I'll never get that proven. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
and unless
he were to admit it, which he's not. That's foolish.
Right. Well, but it also could just very well be the reason of like, well, I want them to blend in there or whatever. There's a million color correction reasons that wouldn't have to do with race. Can we agree on that?
I mean, color correction. What are you talking? I mean, the other guy was black. That's a white guy.
I mean, I don't see that he's black. I don't see that here.
I don't see that either.
I can't tell.
The guy himself, and you see it. I mean, if you were to watch it, you'd see it. I mean, he's black. But, I mean, it's small. It's something small, and it's a small detail. Nobody's going to be sitting there watching this And listen, I've studied Justice League to an obscene, gross amount. Like I've watched.
I believe that.
I've dissected it. Yeah, I've dissected it enough because I was so fucking pissed off at that film. So I would notice things like that, and it's just.
So you're telling me it's obvious that
laugh.
this guy was black, and then when he walks over behind,
Yes.
this is because I don't even remember this scene. They walk,
Right,
and then
so
we
this
cut.
is-
They cut to
they
the janitor.
walk-
The girls look different as well. One is more
yeah.
slim, the other one is.
Well, that's my
shorter
point.
and
Are they
thicker.
different
thicker.
extras that walk by, and that's what
Those are
actually
two
happened?
different-
These are two
yeah.
different shots.
they had-
it looks
yeah,
like the
two
whole
different shots.
the wardrobe looks different to me too. Like the wardrobe's
I know,
way
I
lighter.
know.
So my point is,
Yeah.
could they have been different extras? Sometimes you have multiple people walking by, reshoots.
Oh no! Well, right.
How do we
you're
know
right.
this
So
was in the
is a-
same moment? It's the same actors.
Right. So this shot is a Snyder shot. The next one, because what happens is the janitor calls out. So you cut to Ray or Silas Stone talking by himself, and then it cuts back to that shot, which is a reshoot.
This one's a reshoot.
That's a reshoot. And look,
So there, he hired two different actors who weren't black, is what he did there.
Yeah, I know.
So he
Well,
didn't.
and-
But my
and,
point
yeah.
is, he didn't go in and change the color of the actor's skin tone.
No.
He
No,
hired
absolutely
two white
not.
actors
It's just-
instead of two black actors.
Yeah. Well, no, the lady, the girl's not black. She's white. I'm just saying. That's my point, though. You see what I'm saying? Like
I
making
don't.
fun
I
of
don't.
it because-
So that's right.
I don't know. When I read
mean, I
this,
can see
bro,
100%
that
what you mean,
looks-
Ray Fisher, because even in the reshoots, when there's a black military officer walking by, Whedon decided to lighten them up once they got to the janitor. Something and you're just something I found strange. Guess I got my answer now. I mean,
Right.
if you're
So you're calling all of this just comedy? It's a spoof. It's
I mean, yeah. Look, I mean, dude, look at those two actors, and look at the.
You mean that
actors were
janitor's
in the
wearing someone
shot.
else's badge? Yeah, I mean, so, bruh, Easter egg, parasite. A lot of people are sort of making fun of it. Okay, maybe we did misread that. And I took this more seriously,
And-
but I'm glad
I
to
know,
hear. For the
and-
record, you are saying this was a sarcastic comment that you didn't mean. This was a.
Oh yeah, I wasn't meaning like that's proof. Like that's proof in the pudding. The devil's in the details. Right? I'm like, no, dude,
that's exactly what it looks like though to the public.
It does look like that way.
I mean,
agree,
dude,
Jody.
really? I mean,
It does. I got to back up Jody. This one,
I know, but
when I read it, I was
I know,
like,
but-
"Oh, you're standing up for Ray because you're responding to Ray, and you are tight." I thought you were like close to
adding
Ray.
him.
Yeah, this is a kind of a knock at Ray if you're saying what you're saying right now. Of like, "Oh yeah, clearly this is what it was."
Well, no, because I know what he's talking about when it comes to lightening the skin. That
Wait a
I know
minute.
what
How
he's
is this
talking
not
about.
a knock at Ray Fisher then?
It's not a knock. I'm just making fun of the reshoots of them replacing a black actor
With
Not
white
really
actors.
a black actor, but a black extra actor.
So you're commenting on the fact that they removed the black extras and put white extras in. That's what that
right.
means.
That's why I was talking about lightening it up.
Got it. Okay.
So-
that I will buy. That I'll buy. Okay. It still seems like it's still like I don't know. That doesn't necessarily
I know.
mean they're racist, right? So that might and that's
No,
where
I know. That's
but
my point. That's what I'm saying. Like,
but I
even-
look. I appreciate
even
you
say
coming
it.
on because you're at least we can have these conversations, and it's rare with some of these people because they all just come at me like I'm a crazy person. But like you said it, when you call someone a racist, it's a serious charge. And yes,
is.
sometimes you actually have to prove that, and you can't just put it out there. And I think Ray has gotten sloppy, and it's his attention grabbingness is showing because look, the goalpost changing. He keeps changing the accusations. He doesn't put out examples. To me, that's a sign of somebody who has something to hide. If you have a truth to bear, and I've been there, you talk to everyone. You share the evidence. You say it to whoever wants to hear it because you've been wronged, and you want the truth to come out. So my problem with Ray, aside from the fact that he came out with Jody and I and slandered us, he did, whether people want to laugh that off or say he didn't, people think I'm a racist because of some stupid quote he retweeted from Mike whatever douchebag, and then took on
think I'm a homophobe.
Enosh's thing out of context. And regardless of what Jody or I say, which was he didn't say gay Fisher, he said yay Fisher. If you want to make fun of saying that he said yay Fisher, fine, Ray, but he called him homophobic. And you can go off and say, well, yeah, but also Jody did this. What about this? Doesn't matter. We got to talk about what Ray said. And for a man who's out there, whose credibility matters right now, who's standing up for accountability over entertainment and saying these really important, serious things, I got a problem with the way he's going about it because it just makes me not believe anything he says. And so when he's then dropping racism things that are getting pulled from Forbes articles and costing those reporters their job, it even more red flag to me of like, dude, I'm sorry, Ray, shut up. You are not helping a cause here. He's looking like Jussie Smollett, sadly. And if something really did happen, this is not helping him. This is only going to hurt the cause, and it's going to make more people angry. I'm not trying to pile on him and hate on him. I'm mad because he did the shit he did, and I'm mad that he's like throwing out a real claim if there is one. But Jesus, I mean, so what is your your response to that criticism of Ray and the way he's been handling it?
So I personally think he's been doing a genius thing at doing this, because you know what? Every single time he's ever said anything, guess what? Warner Brothers reacts in the most idiotic, stupidest fucking way. And you know what? Whedon, I truly think, fucked himself over by doing what he did, because he literally had his PR, his rep, and his lawyer contact every single fucking blog to sit there and put out a statement to make sure that he was, you know what? He didn't deny anything. He just said, hey, the scenes that were removed were already removed before I got there. Okay? He did not say no to anything. And I fucking hate to bring this up, because I'm not bringing him up at all. And I'm not trying to compare the two. But it's like whenever they asked Trump to denounce white supremacy, and he was like, I'm the least racist person. It's like, that wasn't what they asked you to say. They asked you to say something specifically, and you're going, I mean, but I didn't do that. I'm not the one that's responsible for it. It's like, well, okay, fine. And so with Whedon, when you have this situation, there's a lot of people that are waiting in the kind of just waiting there to talk. But I could tell you this, nobody's going to talk right now until they go to court. Are they going to go to court? Probably not. I don't know. That's the only way you're going to hear about every single thing, because if he says anything right now on Twitter, in an interview, whatever, and it's not held up in the court, guess what? Warner Brothers has more evidence to kind of bat it and combat it and go, this is how we're going to do that angle. So I wouldn't want to give anybody a testimony to prepare for. I would keep all my cards close to my chest.
I'm going to say
Warner
this.
Brothers.
To call this the way he's been acting genius, using the Black Lives Matter movement, crying wolf with no facts, trying to cancel people, making it hard, for the next actor who actually has been abused to be turned
But how do you know he hasn't been abused?
Because he's a liar and he's lied on me.
But
lied on Andy.
Okay,
so
to use Andy's point, we're talking about what happened on set, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily to me, and not necessarily to you or Andy. Mm-hmm. We're talking about on set, right? Mm-hmm. So how do you know how do you know that didn't happen?
How do I know that the third time the boy cried wolf, the wolf was really there?
That doesn't answer my question, though.
Because
we're talking about a real situation.
I'm answering your question because I am part of his lies. He is a liar.
You're asking why do we not believe him? Because he's lost his credibility, right?
I'm asking how do we not know?
I don't know, but I know that.
How do you know he did? Isn't a man innocent until proven guilty? Why are we judging his word over anything else? Why isn't he dropping the specifics as to what happened of the abuse? I haven't seen.
Like I said,
so clue me in. What is the abuse? Tell us.
Well, I mean, I don't know all of it. All I know is that
Dragon is saying, "Stay tuned until tomorrow till I read new details."
Yeah, I mean, look, details. I don't. If you can't say it, then why are you out there?
He's not going to say it. He's not going to say everything. I just told you why.
Why? Sorry, say it again. I didn't hear you.
Because why is he going to tell everybody everything without taking them to court? If they were truly
then take them to court.
Shut up.
Then take them to court and don't do it on social media.
Dude, you're talking. He already said that. He said he doesn't have the means. He doesn't have the money to go to court.
Okay, then shut up. It's like, what do you want me to do? Like,
absolutely, dude.
No. Yeah, here. No.
Dude.
Here, let me clarify. Let me clarify. Imagine if I'd come back after being falsely accused, and I said for months, "Hold on, guys, it's coming." Oh no, it was really bad. What happened to me? Oh, you won't even believe it. Oh, it's not. And then months later, oh, and they're also racist. Dude, that's not how it goes, Garza. If you don't have the means, I respect that. But you got to drop your facts.
How many times do you get pissed off at people coming at you about all of those allegations towards you that you know are bullshit? They don't care. They don't listen. They call you those
That's
names.
The way it is called. I have to move on.
The worst, right?
I have to move on because it's not going to ever go. Whether I took them to court or not, it would still be there.
I get that. But my point, though, is that at the end of the day, you were looked at by certain people, not a lot. I'm just saying by certain people, and they want to try to take you out, or they want to, cut you off or low blow you, right? So they throw that kind of shit out there. And what do you have to do? I mean, you basically have to sit there and go, you're already fighting up an uphill battle now because they already have some kind of point of view of you, right? Well, okay. Imagine if there was multiple people that were coming at you saying that before you spoke up, before you got it cleared, there was maybe 10 to 20 other people that were like, hey, look, Andy did this. I got,
Dude,
and they were in the
but
weights.
Look,
all I'm saying though is, if you were to get that,
I feel more for Joss Whedon right now than I do for Ray Fisher, because the fact is,
that's fine.
Joss Whedon might be a complete asshole. Look,
Yep.
he might be, but until you tell me why, I'm not going to go cancel that man. It's innocent until proven guilty. And no, Ray Fisher doesn't get to, especially when, as Jody just said, Ray has lost his credibility. On top of that, Ray has motive. They cut his part down. They cut his boy Zack Snyder's movie to shreds. He has it. But wait. I listen to you. He has. But Garza, you can't deny he has reasons. He has motive to be angry. And that's why a third party needs to come in, or a judge, to actually look at it, because he might be being emotional. I've said this before. Christian Bale was abusive on the set of Terminator Salvation. If you listen to that audio, you could have slayed him just like Ray Fisher did. But the fact is, if you actually are there and you listen to the audio, I actually agree with Christian Bale, and I think the DP was out of line. And so the reality is, you can't just take abusive on set and be broad, and then start a movement and an army and Borg life and accountability. Accountability goes both ways. And Steph, I want to call it Steph. Thank you. I know I'm going to get your support. Thank you, Steph. When you make an accusation, burden of proof is on to you to provide evidence. Ray Fisher is making an accusation. The burden of proof is on him to prove that what he's saying, not on us to disprove it. For me, defending Joss Whedon is my right. It doesn't make me a racist. Doesn't make me a jerk. Oh, how dare you?
And I would never.
That's the reality.
I would never think anybody. I would never think anybody is a racist.
But my point is, look, even I can't believe or stand with Ray until he drops his evidence. So why is he out there being broad about it? He wants people just to believe him and walk with him without evidence. That is dangerous to me. I can't do that. I'm never going to do that. He may be right, but until he drops evidence, I'm sorry, Ray, you're on your own. Take him to court, drop the evidence, or shut up is really his options.
No, it's not. He could keep talking. Fortunately, we live in America. So unless he wants
can.
To, unless Whedon wants to,
then we'll talk back, and he won't. He'll divide the fans, and he won't solve the problem. But go ahead.
If Whedon wanted to shut him the fuck up, all he has to do is cease and desist, doesn't he?
Right, but that's what he wants, right? That's what I feel like Ray's goading them all to sort of get to those points.
You don't give the ant the attention, right?
Exactly. So I actually think Joss has been great. He didn't come forward until Ray actually dropped an accusation, and then he dropped an accusation that
didn't come forward until Toby.
And the first time to me, Joss is winning this fight, because the first time Ray made an accusation, what happened? The reporter lost his job, and the quote was pulled. Yeah. That I'm sorry. That in the public light, that Joss is winning right now, not Ray.
No, because every single article, big article, Deadline, THR, all of them covered the article or the quote that was pulled.
Exactly.
That
doesn't look good to that doesn't look good to Ray.
It doesn't look good to Whedon.
No,
that's my opinion. No, that's my opinion.
How do you see it that way?
Because the PR forced Forbes to take that out, didn't they?
The PR didn't do it. Clearly, Whedon's lawyer made them do it.
Well, you know what I mean.
Hold on,
PR,
wait.
Lawyer,
sorry, Jody. Now I'm losing
Forbes
it.
Up.
But wait, doesn't Forbes have a legal department?
A matter of time.
They do.
So what you're telling me Forbes' legal department making a decision to pull that quote makes Joss look bad?
No, I'm talking about the coverage from the other people.
No, it makes
that's what
Forbes,
I was just saying.
It makes Forbes look bad. If anybody looks bad, it's Forbes. Right? And then the second person who looks bad is the person whose quotes are pulled, because a person whose credibility should be on the line of these are truths. Suddenly, Forbes' own legal goes back to make themselves look stupid because they couldn't prove that those quotes were true.
Well, they couldn't. Essentially, that quote was a hearsay. Like, it's not
right. That is absurd that Ray said it and that Forbes printed it. How does that make Joss Whedon look bad?
No, I was saying that the coverage that got pulled from that quote, the coverage around that quote, because they called and said, we need you to remove that.
No, the coverage.
You know what I'm saying?
Whedon's team turned the coverage from accusations by Ray to edited story that was clearly put into question. Ray's complete credibility was put into question when Joss's legal team stepped in. That was an absolute. You can't get a better win aside from pulling the whole article. Jody, I mean, how can you play devil's advocate? How can Joss win that debate? I'm floored.
So am I. My mind has already been hurting since the beginning of this day. But let me just throw this in there.
And I want to say,
can I ask a question?
I applaud Garza for being here. I've been
Yes,
trying
I
to be
do too.
civil. I do
do
respect you, man. I look, it takes to come in here. So thank you for
Yeah.
humoring me.
I have a question.
But go ahead.
What happened to, in the beginning of all this situation, what happened to that infamous I can't say anything anymore NDA that Ye was talking about?
I don't know. All I know is
Could it be that
if
he's a
there wasn't-
lying piece of shit and there never was one?
No, there probably was.
But
I mean, there had to have been one.
good point, Jody. But there was one. He kept saying he couldn't talk. He couldn't talk. And then what made him suddenly talk?
You know what? I know what it was, and I can't say it, but I know what it was that made him talk.
It wasn't and it wasn't the thing he said in the article that got pulled.
No, it was.
So because he said the thing that made me churn, because you don't remember, you can't say it, but
I remember.
Ray said in
That's
the
what I'm
article.
saying.
Ray said in the article the
That's
thing
why
that
I'm
made me
saying that-
fume was the color changing thing, which is what got pulled from the article.
Correct. I know about that.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I remember him doing a video. Guys, I just can't say anymore. I gotta make sure I do my T's and cross my I's. I don't want to say anything that could be
God is
considered
lowercase
liable.
J's.
Yeah, and then he said, "I heard Joss Whedon is a racist."
I mean, no, he didn't say that. But at the end of the day, there's a
He's a liar, bro.
Look, I like you, Garza. My problem is
No.
like he's not helping himself, man. He's not. And you might be close to him, and I appreciate your loyalty and allegiance to that side. But I appreciate you hearing us out. And I'll let you to say what we're gonna say, but like this doesn't look good, man. As someone who's like not a Snyder cultist, I'm excited to see the movie. I'm gonna watch it, especially out of curiosity.
I have one more.
But like what? It's like
got
I
one
don't.
more
This
after
doesn't look
you're
good.
done.
Go ahead, Jody, and then we'll let Garza respond.
What happened, Garza, to the beginning of this movement where he named Jeff Johns, John Berg, Joss Whedon? Those were the only three names he mentioned. Jeff Johns, accountability over entertainment. John Berg, accountability over Jeff Johns. These three guys, all the way up until the day Toby Emmerich went into power, and the next day he says,
No.
"Oh, Toby Emmerich."
that's false.
He's never
No,
mentioned
he
Toby
actually-
Emmerich by name.
No. What I mean though, that he was doing something. He used those three, and then after that, he went to the DC films. Right? He went to Hamada. Okay, and then he went.
No,
to
I'm
Toby
asking,
Emmerich.
why is it the day after Toby got the position of power that he?
Well, why not?
Toby's
That's
the
genius.
fouled out
Dude, look.
Toby.
Yeah. Now
Doesn't
now
he look
he's-
like a boy who
Toby's getting
cried
his name?
wolf?
Absolutely not. He looks like a genius at that point. He's going, look,
fuck.
he's getting all this. He's getting all this media attention. Why wouldn't he use
It's
it? I
about, it's
would.
about attention, not justice, right? Because if somebody
No, it is about you need attention and you need justice, right? But you're not going to get attention facing a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Sorry, one person is not going to win that war. I don't care who you are.
One
dude.
person came out first, and Bill Cosby's in jail right now. One person came out, and Weinstein is gone.
Okay. Though you're talking about that is completely different than this
no,
shit.
it's not. No, it's not. Violence?
Are you kidding me?
Okay, what's the
Dude.
difference here?
You're talking about using your power to coerce women.
Way
Uh-huh.
way
talking about
worse.
a wrong
Wait,
dude.
but let's be clear, Jody.
Way-
Things that are way
way
worse.
But the
Correct.
same situation.
Dude, we're talking about
is
on-set
someone
treatment.
who is. I'm asking.
But
Is
hold
someone
on.
who is wait 6 months?
Are they
Back it
on the
up.
set? Are they on the set of a movie getting?
Hold on.
Oh,
Hold
That's what you're
on.
telling me?
Last time I checked, the Bryan Singer actually.
Oh, I want to.
Oh,
Whoa. Let's
you're
not get this
going
demonetized.
way the fuck
No,
away,
wait.
dude.
Hold
I'm
on,
talking
Jody,
about Justice
Jody.
League.
Hold on, Jody.
No,
You make
no.
a very valid point. Let me help.
Yeah, right,
let me
right.
make a point here because here because those things are way worse, right? We all just agree,
They're-
right?
they're much
They're
worse,
way worse.
but
So
it's the
here,
same
here's what is Ray's goal? What is Ray's goal? Since we don't know what they are, right? My goal is to have these people not be decision makers for the content that influences our world. These guys have been in Hollywood a long time. Their problematic behavior didn't start with AT&T merger, but I'll be damned if it doesn't end with it. I'm sorry, that sounds like Harvey Weinstein. That sounds
vendetta.
like Bill Cosby. That sounds
Dude,
like
are you
scorched
seriously-
earth.
Listen,
Dude,
Andy,
I will
Andy,
not
are
let
you-
these
listen, Andy,
decision makers
Andy,
influence
Andy,
our world. What does that
Andy,
mean?
Are you going to sit there and tell me that you are considering and dude, I'm fucking serious when I ask this question. You're going to tell me because I've never been and I hold that shit very fucking high, okay? That is some fucked up shit.
No. This
I
isn't
don't
about.
care.
This
I don't
isn't
care.
about. This isn't about
Listen,
comparing them, Garza.
I know, but you just.
This
I'm
broad.
saying, you're telling me
no,
that he
I'm
sounds
not
like
saying
Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, because he's being.
You say that?
He's being broad about it, Garza. I don't know what is he talking about here. Why should these decision makers that influence our world?
Because guess what? They use their influence. He's talking about.
So did Harvey,
Weinsteins of
dude.
this fucking world.
So did Harvey. You can
I know
say
exactly. Guess what?
But that's
Harvey
my
got the
point.
fuck out, didn't he?
But you can't
He got
tell me.
booted.
You can't trust me. I've been there more than any of us.
And
I've been there
okay?
more than any of us. I wasn't accused.
Harvey's
Whoa,
involved.
whoa. This is personal for me, Garza, because I didn't do what Harvey Weinstein
And you had
did.
to get- and you had to get
people
the fuck out.
assumed
I
I
know.
did because of flirting
And-
accusations, dude.
Hey, and you know
Everybody
what?
jumps to conclusions.
I-
Everybody
that's
does
my
that.
point.
And this quote right
Exactly.
now is triggering because he's not specific. He's broad.
He's not gonna be
My
he's
goal.
not
Hear
gonna
it
be
out.
specific.
Tell me in the chat I'm not crazy. My goal is to have these people not be decision makers for the content that influences our world. These guys have been in Hollywood a long time. Their problematic behavior didn't start with the merger, but I'll be damned if it doesn't end with it.
Bro,
I
that's a
mean,
vendetta.
that is a scorched earth.
Dude.
These people
Hey,
are
dude.
canceled and can
If you
never
got-
work again.
Hey, look, if you have people taking advantage of other people, namely women and other people. of
So
color,
now you're
guess what,
pivoting.
dude?
Oh, so now he's taking advantage of women. See what you just
Listen.
did? That to me is as
Well,
bad
I
potentially
mean-
as other stuff. Right, what Harvey did, because Harvey took advantage of women. He had an
Hey,
power
we-
with taking
and
it.
what
But
did I tell you- what did I
just
tell you
proved
about
my
Jeff
point.
Johns?
You just proved
But
my
what
point.
did I tell you about
that,
Jeff Johns,
That
right?
quote by Ray is dangerous without evidence.
I get that, and I
Extremely
understand
dangerous.
that. I can't tell him what to say. I'm not his PR person, right? All I
Correct.
can do
None
is
of us are.
look at that and go, he's talking about kicking people out of Hollywood that are used to that old school Hollywood system, right? That are taking advantage of their jobs and their titles, saying, I'll do this if you can do something for me, right? Rather than just being a real person, being a normal human being, right? Instead of taking advantage of people, why the is that still existing in Hollywood? I don't know. But with these new acquisitions, with Disney getting bought out, or not bought out, with Disney buying out, Fox and all that, their studio has changed. With AT&T buying out WB, that studio is changing. Like, it's not old school Hollywood. This isn't the 1970s or 80s anymore.
So
Like,
apparently, then you know more than I know, and until I know
I
that,
do.
but until I know
exactly,
that,
and that's what I'm saying. I can't-
until we
why do
know
you think
that,
I'm-
until we
why
know
do you
that,
think I'm
Garza, we
telling you?
can't
Like, I
cancel these
get it.
people. But we
I
can't.
know, and I'm not telling you to.
Ray is telling us to, and anybody who doesn't support him is against him, and we support monsters. No, I support due process.
You said that. I didn't say that.
No,
When
I
did
know
say
you.
that?
I know you didn't. I'm just saying. I'm speaking to the.
No.
You're here sort of on behalf of Snyder fans, and I know you're a little out on the
You know
outlier
what,
of them. I
dude?
appreciate that.
Snyder fans hate me too, so it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's like, well, dude, I look at things from a clear point of view. Like, I try to play devil's advocate, and you know what? At the end of the day, you guys are right. He hasn't said anything with proof, and until he does, you guys will absolutely be in the right saying, I don't believe him. If that proof
Like,
comes out when I know it does, guess what? You guys are going to sit there and be in the wrong, and that's okay. Like, I don't need you guys to know that now, because I can't talk about it. Neither can Ray. And until then, all I can do is sit back. I can't change your mind. I'm not going to change your mind.
Right, but here's
Like,
my
that's the whole
problem.
point.
Here's my problem. Because of the way Ray has handled this, even if he were to come forward and say, "Oh, well, this assistant, PA
late.
assistant, female, felt uncomfortable in the presence of Jeff Johns because he did this, this, and this," my problem is, everything he's done has put his credibility into question. He's put out hearsay evidence. He has lied. He was out there lying for Joss Whedon months ago, for years ago. He's lied on us. Like, he's doing, and now he said some racist thing based off hearsay. He believes whoever comes forward and is an enemy to Jeff Johns. And so what's really scary and sad, because this is the culture we now live in, he's actually doing worse for victims because he's I don't know why he's out there continuing to ring the bell. I don't get it. He has an investigation going, which he's waiting for the outcome. Shut up until the investigation's done. He's offered nothing new except for getting people in trouble with his sort of, I can't tell you. Oh, but this guy might be racist. Oh, wait, that's libelous. You're going to get this guy fired. Oh, well, someone hire him because he does litigious articles. I mean, I just don't understand what's going through his head. Like, if he really has this evidence that you speak of, then he should shut up and go do it through a legal perspective, do it through the third-party investigation, and in which case, if that evidence is so clear-cut that Warner Brothers already knew, which he says they do, what on earth is taking them so long? You're telling telling me it's that bad there, that there's some sort of terrible abuse that they're trying to cover up, then yes, I will eat my words. And suddenly, if someone comes forward and drops that evidence suddenly, but I'll also be pissed at Ray because he let that monster stay in for that long. Like, that's why you speak up now. If something really that bad, say it so no more people get injured. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand the delay. The delay makes no sense to me and creates this division with fans. I saw it with a lot of people. They're like, I'm so bored of this cut now. He's ruined the fandom for me. It's just so much yip. I don't fucking get it.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, I can give a fuck who else wants to watch this film. I know I want to watch it. That's all I care about. I know my daughter wants to watch it. That's all I care about. Like, everybody else can fuck off. I don't care if you liked it, if you fought for it, if you didn't fight for it, if you were against it, and you decided you wanted it. Fuck it. I don't care, dude. I want to watch the film. I know we're going to get a sequel. I know shit's going in the right direction. Unfortunately, there is an asterisk, if you will, to this situation because of everything that fucking happened, right? And I get that. I completely understand that. I was going to ask you guys, there's two ways that this is going to end, right? And so I want to get y'all's thoughts on what you guys are going to think of. One scenario, everything comes out, and it was as fucking bad as it really was. Ray is telling the truth. 100%. Everything he's ever said has been true. What y'all's reaction versus everything comes out, and you know what? He doesn't have a case. You know, he falsely accused Joss Whedon. You know, things didn't really come out to light. Nobody ever finds out what happened. What's both of y'all's reactions?
Well, how can you say you know? So why would you even say the other one's there? Right? Are you saying that it might go that way?
I'm
too?
just because I'm not telling you to only choose my decision. You get what I mean? Like,
right?
I want you guys.
Can you acknowledge? I know you have intel. You know some of these people. I respect. I'm not going to push that, but it's like. You're telling me that's not going to happen. You're saying the evidence is extreme enough, to your knowledge, that we are going to bite our tongues and say, "Damn, we were wrong." Is that just so we're clear on the record?
You may not bite your tongue and say you're wrong, because really, who fucking does that? I know. I barely admit when I'm wrong. I just say, oh, you know what?
Look. If I'm wrong, I'll admit I'm wrong.
Yes,
I still will criticize him though.
This shit comes out when it comes out, and it will come out. I don't know how, and I don't know when. Okay, I don't know how long it's going to be until it comes out. When it comes out, there's some fucking damning shit in there. And unfortunately,
you need to understand, bro. Like, even if it comes out and they were actually abusing people, bro, me and Andy are not wrong here. We're mad at Ray for the way he's been handling this shit. I'm gonna be like, cool, get him out of there. But Ye Fisher, you's a bitch still.
Well, guess what, dude? I mean, that's it. You can't sit there and say
why there's nothing where he comes out cleaner at the end of this.
Exactly. So the whole point is, all I want to do is get those people out. I want to get Hollywood, the new Hollywood now. Fuck the old guys. I don't give a shit about.
Well, if people are actually doing bad things, then that's what it's always been about.
Right, and he's letting them. He's letting them.
We need the proof.
He's letting them still do bad things right now. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Oh, he's not.
I mean, we don't know what these accusations are. I've heard, Joss Whedon's going to get Me Too'd. There was a whole thing. Jeff Johns is going to get Me Too'd. He's done all these terrible things. Two people came up with like nothing that I was like, nothing came forward, and everyone had an opportunity to step forward.
But you got to remember, I know, but you got to remember, Ray has told a lot of people, do not say anything until I give you the go ahead. So there's a reason why there's not a lot of people that have come out.
This guy,
don't do it until I mean, that
you don't have any.
Yeah, like the power play
this
here.
This is an army cultist move. Like, wait for my signal.
I mean,
don't shoot until you see the white in their eyes.
This isn't about justice. This is a war. They want vengeance on everybody who wronged Zack.
Dude, you're talking about a multi-billion-dollar studio. Nobody's ever gone up against them, dude. I mean, dude, y'all are both my age, right? I'm 33. You guys are around the same age, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So imagine you right now, you trying to take on a big fucking studio like that. I don't give a shit who you are, dude. Like, dude, I'm confident in who I am, but you would not see me fucking trying to take down a big ass fucking studio like that. Like,
I would.
And if you had every right to,
if I had this,
you'd be like, "Fuck it, I'm doing it."
If I got truth on my side, bro.
And if I had this
evidence,
exactly. If I had this evidence, I would put it out in a YouTube video. I would be damning. I would get the army, and then
so you're telling me this?
No, Garza. Not only would he have the Zack Snyder army, he'd have Jody and I. That's why he's failing right now. He'd have our support. Instead, he's creating this weird divide to like out people and then add little claims later to get more information because he's acknowledging he didn't have all the information until recently. And then he's acknowledging that people have reached out now. And he's also acknowledging a lot of it's hearsay. So even if he comes forward with some stuff, I'm going to be like, who told you this? Do you have proof of this? What does that mean? Okay, what actually happened? Until people actually start speaking forward. And then for Ray to become the person who's like, hold on, don't out this sexual predator until I'm ready. I mean, what? It's whenever she's ready. Like, how dare he negotiate these outs of these monsters if they're actually monsters?
You're saying things that I'm not saying. I didn't say anything about sexual
Well,
monsters.
but you implied it when you said, the Me Too movement,
no.
when they came out to Me Too him, no one came forward. And you said, well, don't forget, Ray has some people he's told not to tell people. So I'm reading between the lines there. So
I'm just talking about in general, just everybody that he's talked to, because like I mentioned, there's some big stars that were involved in Justice League that haven't come out and said anything, okay? And when they fucking do, guess what?
Right, but
it's not going to be just Ray Fisher.
I think, Jason Momoa came forward, and I take that as sort of Jason being like, hey, I got your back. Clearly this guy was wronged. I got your back. That's the vibe I get from Jason Momoa. He's just a good dude who's like going to believe whatever Ray tells him, right? But the reality is he might be in trouble because Ray might be acting emotionally. And I think the racism accusation, to me, proves it. Like, he doesn't have proof of it. He's making an assumption that was a racist decision. And right there, he lost all credibility with me. He already was on a string with me. I know Jody, he lost it already, but he already was on but he lost all of it then, because that is a serious allegation to just lob out in a Forbes article without proof or without actually knowing yourself. To say you heard it through somebody and then based off of what?
Listen, even reading that, I was never kind of like, oh, dude, yeah, fuck, like, dude, I was like, dude, that's a big step. Like, regardless, like, I'm not trying to sit there and say, like, no, he's 100% in the right, because I don't know what prompted that situation to happen.
And I'm glad
bring it up.
I saw
Toby Emmerich.
Exactly.
God damn.
And I want to call out the chat.
Everything.
The chat reminded me someone has gone up against the studio and he's done it way better, and that's John Boyega. John Boyega has come out like a hero calling out Disney's racist practices, which, let's be honest, they totally just completely shoehorned him in, had no excuse for him, dragged him along, wasted him. Ray's trying to jump up and, yeah, John, let's have a conversation. John has been a class act, and he's held them accountable, and he's getting conversations. That's how you do it. And so the fact of the matter is, what the hell is Ray doing? John's not afraid. John's like, yeah, this is what happened. He dropped it out. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is what it is. I know they're Disney. They're even bigger than Warner Brothers. I don't give a shit. I'm going to say it. And people had his back. He's got a bigger army than Ray because he did it the right way. He did it classily. He did it as a gentleman. He did it for justice and for the sake. Ray's just stringing this along. I don't know why. It doesn't look good.
Ray tried to attach himself to what John Boyega was doing. Yo, brother, let's get it done. That was so pathetic and weak, bro. I was so mad seeing that. So
wasn't it Boyega that actually reached out to Ray first? I mean, it was
no. Ray tweeted at him, and then Boyega responded, like, "Yo, let's go."
Yeah, and then Boyega was like, "Yeah, sure, call anytime." Like, it read very desperate. Like Ray was jumping in on the conversation, which is what Ray's been doing a lot. Let's be honest. That's how it looks because he's stretching it out. And John, everybody supports John. And so when you ask me what would I do what he did. I would say the truth and call it out, and I wouldn't hold on to it to play this chess game, which to me reeks of him and Zack making power moves. And here's my conspiracy theory. I said I'd hype it, and then we'll wrap this up. I'll get your comments because I don't want to. We could do this all day, and I know, and I appreciate you being here. Here's my conspiracy theory. I might be wrong, whatever it is. I still think, and I've heard this. I want both your thoughts. I've heard Toby doesn't like Zack and doesn't really want this movie.
Of course.
And I've also, so my guess is the people, Greenblatt, whatever, that greenlit this cut, this was a final. Have fun, AT&T.
Thank you guys. I'm
out of here. Oh, good luck, because they knew they were on their last legs. They knew they were on their last legs, and they thought, well, how can I F my boss before I leave? Oh, I know. I'll get them the Snyder army against them. I'll make them have to pay Snyder all this money. And, yeah, great. And then just did it. And then Kalar, who has no clue what's going on with content, he's just a guy, if you go to his Twitter, like, check out my bat. It's like, dude, wait, come on. There's so many bigger things you should be addressing with the fans than your Batman headers on Facebook.
Be surprised.
He's like, okay, cool. To me, he's like, fine. We need something anyway. They sort of let it go through, and that was a final FU to everybody to say, yeah, good luck with this. See ya, bye, peace.
I like that idea. I can see that. I can see that a little bit, Andy.
And I think I think this was literally a last-ditch effort that Zack had been negotiating, and there were some people that were humoring it and were open to it. And then at the very end, the powers that be read the writing on the wall and were like, shit, we're going to be out, aren't we? Let's greenlight the Snyder Cut. Let's do this real quick. Then they can't reverse traction because even if Zack doesn't know that, somebody in charge knew and said, let's flip this switch because they're going to have trouble turning that one off. And you know what? See ya. Good luck. Bye.
As somebody that has connections in the Warner Media Group, I can tell you that's all false. Like, that is not what happened. They have literally been trying to get this thing going since November of last year. Okay. Now, when you heard about Toby calling him up the next day after it trended worldwide and said, hey, we wanted to, call you. No, bullshit. They were just trying to give Toby some kind of positive spin in that story. Cause I know he didn't call him, because you're right. Toby does not like Zack. That has been clear as fucking day. And that's why I'm saying now he is, and Jody, that's why I said he's going to have to tread lightly. He's either going to allow Snyder to continue his stuff, or things are going to be scrutinized under his watch.
It doesn't look like he's been treading lightly. With the trailer down, with articles getting deleted and people getting fired.
He's not. Where is he involved with on the articles?
Who? Which? Sorry, Toby?
Joss Whedon. Oh, wait. You think? Okay, so here's what I'm proposing. You think that Joss Whedon finally snaps back right after Toby becomes in a place of power? You don't think that Toby gave him the reassurance?
Absolutely not.
Oh
no. Why would he? Why would Toby get involved in that?
Toby's the head of Warner.
Right, but what does that have to do with anything? We're talking about Forbes and we're talking about Joss Whedon. What does that have to do with Toby?
Joss Whedon, who I'm sure has a relationship with Toby Emmerich, claps back at Ye Fisher.
You realize they don't want to be seen as associates. Regardless, Toby wants to be by himself. He's not trying to get involved with anything.
Got you.
That's what I'm saying.
Clapback moves happening right after Toby is put in a position of power. There's one factor here that changed. There's only one. And it's the shakeup that put Toby in power that made all of this shit start to happen. That's the only thing that changed in this scenario. And we're pretending that has nothing to do with anything when it actually does.
Okay,
that's the only factor.
Okay, so you're telling me that because when Toby comes in power, he handles the Forbes situation and he takes down the trailer. Did he get the $70 million back?
I'm saying that it's possible. I'm saying this.
Oh my God, are you fucking serious, Jody? Like, no, I'm asking that as a serious question. You're serious?
Serious about
that
what?
They're going to take the $70 million back that they gave Snyder?
No, I'm not. I was talking about.
Oh, okay. That's why I was like, no fucking.
I was talking about reaching out to Forbes, right? I think that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that it's not past the realm of possibility. In fact, it's probably common sense to think that someone from Warner Brothers Legal actually contacted Forbes as well, not just Joss Whedon's assistant.
Well, no, I wasn't saying Joss Whedon's assistant. I was saying his.
Okay, so isn't it logical to think that someone from Warner Brothers also reached out to Forbes about the lies and the hearsay?
If they did, they would have had to state that in their article. Warner Brothers reached out to us as well.
They didn't actually state that. For my recollection, they didn't clarify why they made the edits. In fact, I'll go there just to double check.
They made
they said edits were made
because somebody was from Whedon's camp.
No, hold on.
To my knowledge, you don't have to be a part of the article when you're calling somebody up like, "Yo, this is a problem." That's not how that works. Because I call you.
It's definitely. So you're telling me Toby Emmett can literally change any article he wants?
Wait. Sorry, I didn't realize they changed the update, guys. This story and headline have been updated from the original version, which the editors determined.
They heard from Warner.
No, but the editors determined lacked journalistic rigor and fairness. They just changed it again. Quotation marks were added to indicate Fisher's use of the word toxic in the headline. Comments were added from Warner Brothers and representatives from Joss Whedon. This quote from Fisher was deemed to be primarily based on third-party information and was removed. What set my soul on fire? They put it back. Given all the stuff they did. This quote with Fisher was deemed to be primarily based on third-party information and was removed. So then they moved. That's not how it was before. They finally adjusted it.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like they would have to be said Warner Brothers contacted him. Now,
they don't have to do that. They could completely backdate that. Yo, bro, hey. This happens all the time.
Yeah, they could, but then they all of a sudden now they're losing. If somebody finds out, they're losing their credibility, right? But my point is, okay, well, you're right. Warner Brothers reached out, right? So Toby might have used whatever power he had. Who knows?
All the
And
power
that's
he
what
has.
happens
There's no
in there.
whatever power. He has all the power.
Right. So
absolutely has
imagine
power.
that. Toby is doing something that quick and reacting that fast, right?
Yes.
I mean,
What does
I
that
would
mean?
too. If you're calling me a racist,
What does it mean for a person who never wanted the Snyder Cut and then on top of that gets accused of being a racist and then makes these moves? That means Snyder Cut be in trouble. What if he takes Ye Fisher completely out the movie?
I could tell you right now, the Snyder Cut is completely 100% guaranteed fine. It is not in any kind of trouble.
I
They're
believe
not doing
that.
anything at all. I'm telling you right now.
I don't think they're going to
I don't
cancel
agree
it.
with that at all. I think the movie's going to come out. You're 75, maybe to $100 million invested. This is a business. Let's keep it a buck. But what I'm saying is, it's not outside of the realm of possibility that they're like, oh, okay, you want to play games? For sure. I'm going to go ahead and wipe your scenes down even more, player. He could absolutely do that. You could completely eliminate Ye Fish from this, give him 2 scenes in the movie, and that's it. Still release the
But they
Snyder
wouldn't.
Cut movie.
You know why? Because literally Snyder's in charge of that entire cut. Toby has
Snyder.
nothing to do with that cut.
What?
So
What?
Snyder
Snyder
you
ain't in
talking
charge
about, man?
of shit.
Yeah,
If
he
Toby
is.
says it's what?
Oh,
his
I mean-
own cuts.
Yeah, I
What?
mean, Toby, but you're
you
both
talking about?
you're
Toby's not
both
gonna-
you're both right. Let's not get lost in the weeds here.
If you want the cut to be released, it must go through.
It's already gonna get released. No. It's already. It's done.
Look,
That's why it's
let me-
you're
let me-
arguing
let me-
semantics here.
don't
Toby
wanna go there.
Toby gave Zach creative control. I believe that, but at the same time,
Yes,
Toby
yeah.
can make a call to say, get out of here. Obviously,
Exactly.
but I believe they both think they have control. I get it. I don't want to get drawn there. I just want to point out, this was the decision makers that participated in those racist conversations were Jeff Johns, John Berg, and Toby Emmerich.
Oh, he added his name. Look at that.
That's what happened there. And then Toby was also mentioned about multiple sources have informed me that Joss threatened the career of another person. That's the abuse we're told. He made a veiled threat at Ray's career, which that could be because he was being difficult and didn't want to say booyah. It absolutely could have been. Granted, I wasn't there, so I don't know. But then another person who won't speak up says they were threatened as well. We need to know what that means. Toby was made aware and tried to cover for Whedon rather than deal with the abuse. It might not have been abuse. When my allegations came out, the one thing I can say credit to my former employer is they knew the facts and didn't remove me because they knew there wasn't anything wrong, right? And then when the Twitter mob came forward and social justice started deeming all this stuff because they were believing a liar, then they reacted out of fear and did what they did, and things went south. So that's my point of just because they didn't do anything doesn't mean there was guilt, right? Sometimes they look into it and they're like, yeah, I don't think this was actually fireable. So again, that's why evidence and facts matter. I don't know what they were. We need to hear it. But then he's mentioned again with Hamada, but 3 drops of Toby, it's the first time he does that. Again, shifting the goalposts of who to blame, what to happen. It's problematic for me is what I want to get at. But to wrap things up, I know some comments came in and I'll get you guys to have final words, but I want to make sure I got some of these thoughts in. Thank you guys who supported. We'll be here till 7, so if you got any more support you want to send over,
I just want to throw
do
this
it.
by Garza real quick.
Go for it. Yeah, while I look at those up.
Why do you believe the Snyder trailer was taken down? You believe because of the song?
Because of music rights. Yeah. I mean,
So why is the trailer still up on IGN?
that's a different trailer.
No,
I don't think that's the.
the Justice League
It
trailer.
might not be. I don't
Hallelujah
know.
is
Here's
up
the
on-
other thing that
it's the
that
full
nobody
Hallelujah.
actually talked about. Well, right, but nobody's
that
actually really
just
talked
proves
about
that
this.
point that it's copyright.
In fact,
Well,
I'm
no, because YouTube has a different algorithm when it comes to YouTube or copyright.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, no. My problem.
The
with that
owner
is
of the rights of the
Sony,
music.
Sony, who owns the song with Leonard Cohen, that's who has the problem, right? And so if they have a problem with Warner
Exactly.
Brothers, they would go wherever it is.
Exactly.
Right.
So why is IGN's
reality.
trailer still up? This is a Warner Brothers.
I
call.
can't answer that. I can't answer that question. And again,
The
I'm
answer
telling
to the
you
question
this.
is it's not copyright issue. It's something else.
I'm
Well,
very-
what could it be?
I don't know.
I could tell you that
that's
they
why
could,
we were
they could
playing,
literally.
like, what
Here's-
if?
well, here, I could tell you this. They could literally remove every fucking article, every fucking PR, every promotion, every teaser, every TV spot about the Snyder Cut. I could give a shit less. It's still coming out.
That has
So,
nothing to do
I
with what
don't
I'm
care.
saying here, though.
No,
I'm
I know
only-
it doesn't,
I'm
but-
only coming to your point.
but the
that
whole
you
point-
said, you said
Well,
it
you're-
was
but
the
you're-
copyright, and I'm just refuting it. With
I'm
the
saying
fact that it's on
that's
IGN.
what I'm guessing it is. I don't know.
What was it
But
called?
I'm saying,
Zack
though,
Snyder's
is that-
Justice League? Is that what the trailer was called? Because I want to make sure it's still up. Because if it's not, I'll
Right.
give it credit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But my whole thing is that your basis of saying, well, the trailer's getting down are getting taken down, that's cause for concern because it's not going to get released, or there's trouble for the Snyder.
No, because it's not going to get
I'm
released.
here
I ain't say that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying
well, that's
trouble.
why I always thought you were saying.
Nah,
so
it's trouble though. No, I'm not saying that. It's trouble, bruh. That means moves are being made. Motherfuckers is playing the game. Warner Bros. Fighting back. Warner Bros. Like, oh, okay. But I do believe, I do believe that it is possible that absolutely they could wipe Ye Fisher from this movie. Heck yeah.
Nah, they couldn't.
They did it from Joss Whedon's. Joss Whedon did it. Why can't Toby?
Yeah, they aren't gonna do it.
But they can. They did it already.
Listen, Jody. I'd put it on my life. That's how fucking confident I am. I put it on my life and my daughter's life. They're not going to touch a fucking thing about Ray Fisher in Justice League, Zack Snyder's cut. That's how fucking confident I am, dude.
All right, so you believe that?
I 100%, 100% on my life and my daughter's life, my 13-year-old daughter's life. That's how confident I am, man.
Why?
I'm telling you. Because I know about certain things. They're not going to touch a single fucking frame when it comes to Ray Fisher.
Do you know about the certain things about this copyright
He's
situation?
also too involved in the cut, Jody. I do believe it because you might as well just cut the whole movie because from everything I've read, he's like Cyborg's a crucial part of that movie. I don't know how you would cut him.
He's the heart of the story. That's the whole point.
They cut him though.
And
you guys are saying
absolutely.
Well, no, from the hour and a half cut when they did the reshoots, yeah. But my point is,
exactly.
If you're bringing all the footage and you're reshooting and Cyborg's there,
but that movie,
it would be hard. Is it possible? Yeah, I just think it's hard.
That 2 hour film. Listen, that 2 hour film that came out in 2017 literally is nowhere near what the fuck we're gonna get when it comes to Zack Snyder Justice League.
Oh, I believe that.
Yeah,
totally different.
So it's not a different. It's a different story. There's literally arcs.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
So Ray Fisher is literally integral in everything. This is basically his origin story. The reason why he got cut out by Josh Whedon and Jeff Johns is because they wanted to save that origin story for a film. And guess what? Ray said
saying something that is out of the realm of possibility right now when it's already been done. You see why that blows me away.
What do you mean?
There's no freaking way that they could cut him out when they actually.
Why would they? No, dude, you're talking about. He literally just said it, and I don't believe him, even though he said this. He might be exaggerating or hyperbole. He said that every single scene that is in that theatrical cut of Cyborg, it's all from reshoots. Every single fucking scene. Now, I don't think.
Lets me know that he watched Joss's cut, and he's going to eliminate everything that was in the Justice League theatrical.
Well, I could tell you right now. I've studied that fucking thing. Believe me, it is full of reshoots for Cyborg's part.
But there's a lot of Snyder.
I mean, and Ray, whether he's right, Ray has said every part of the movie except for some ceiling shot was
except for like 30 seconds.
Right.
I don't believe that.
No.
And I say that as somebody that has studied it. I can tell you that that's it. I think it's hyperbole. But I can tell you that
another piece of evidence to prove that Ray has hyperbole that gets him in trouble, correct?
I can't say that because I don't know what else. I know what else he's talking about. But
well, you be careful. Maybe you don't. Maybe it's the hyperbole. But go ahead.
Yeah, I think people might be right.
Don't swear on any family member about that one. Is all I would warn you. But go ahead.
You don't hear me. You don't hear me, right?
You didn't write.
So what I mean though is, I know. Hey, look, I'm raising my hands on that. But when it comes to the Justice League theatrical cut, right? I could tell you that there's about 45 to 55 minutes of actual Snyder stuff in between, like mixed in with like some reshoots and shit. Okay, so about 45 minutes to 55 minutes of that entire thing.
That's almost half the movie.
They filmed. Well, right, because it's 2 hours, right? But think about that. That means Josh Whedon has almost half the movie as well. That's fucking shocking. Okay, so great. Well, in principal photography, they had a 5-hour assembly cut. So you're talking about 45 minutes of a 5-hour cut. And guess what? He's actually filming additional stuff to create another 30 minutes. So you're talking about basically 3 hours that we haven't even seen. We haven't even touched.
Yeah, sure.
So, and that's why I'm saying, like, they cannot cut anything from Ray Fisher's story arc because he was the heart of that film.
Right, but I agree. I mean, they can. You're both right again. Just to try to get through.
Dude, they could
Anything is
literally
possible.
cut anything they want. You're absolutely right. They can.
You're both right.
They fucking won't. How about that?
Okay, got you.
Last
I'll
questions
take
as
that.
we wrap up. I just want to make sure I got, because some of you guys sent over questions. I want to make sure I got to them as we're wrapping things up. But thank you, David March, again. Snyder Cut is the only issue we're talking about. Thank you. I tried to pivot and get you there, so we stayed on the cut and stuff. So thank you, David, for that. And also Kelly, thank you for the Cash App that came in earlier. I got to appreciate you for supporting the Kelly. I saw that earlier. I meant to mention you. Thank you, Kelly, for sending that over. And then Juan Matos, you're assuming AT&T's motive and speaking it as fact. They gave Toby the promotion and green light power. That's the fact. This is conspiracy talk. That was from a little bit ago. But
I mean,
That is the
and
fact.
you know what? If I completely understand, if you didn't know what I know, it sounds like conspiracy. I can only talk from things that I know, and that's it. I mean, I can't tell you to change your mind. I can't convince you that anything that I'm saying is true. I can't tell you. You have to believe me or trust me, bro.
I will throw some credit at you. You have been correct on some things. You talked to me. I do know you know some people there, so I'm not completely knocking you. That's why I do respect and have you on here. We don't always agree, but we have these conversations. I appreciate it. But yeah,
Right.
I know you know some of these people.
Come in and say, I'll never come in, except for that one moment that I just swore on my life to my daughter's life. I will never come in and tell you, you have to fucking believe me. Because at the end of the day, you know what? I can't, unless I'm there in the meeting, in the boardroom meetings, hearing it from my fucking self, dude. I mean, I could literally be getting wrong information.
That's what Ray. That's the information. Share that with Ray. 'Cause
Right.
that's the problem.
Well, no, because I do know of certain things because of direct people. But at the end of the day, you know what? It needs to come out, and when it does, you know what? Am I going to be celebrating? Not really. I'm just going to be like, thankfully it's out, but.
I worry.
It's
I
a
honestly,
tough situation.
even if it's tough, I don't think people are going to take it as seriously due to the way he's done it. So I think that's a disservice. But
For
we'll see.
walkaway clarity, I want to get something from you. So you're saying, based off what I've heard from you, is that the head of Warner Brothers, the Kevin Feige of Warner Brothers right now, Toby Emmerich, should tread lightly on doing anything involving the Snyder Cut because Keelar for AT&T will come down and fire him if he does so.
Yes.
Okay.
You see how long you see how I made
processed
that,
it.
That just wrecked me.
Yes.
You
I
good,
know.
Jody? All right, just
You
make
know
sure.
what? I know it's wild, but guess what? Hey, that's
Why don't you just make Snyder the guy in power then? So
he's working for Netflix too.
Why would the
does he need to
bullshit?
run a studio?
He does have a movie at
He's
Netflix.
director.
Snyder,
he's got movies,
wants
he's got
DC.
shows he's got to do.
Oh my god!
I don't know.
Snyder wants DC. He don't give a
Not
frig
to
about that zombie
I don't
show
know
on
if he
Netflix.
does. I think he wants to do a multi. He
wants DC.
Led the Guardians of Gaul, dude. He's been all over the place. I don't know if he wants
Yeah,
DC.
and you know what?
especially
Dude?
given what he
Hey,
did.
I can't wait to see the Batman. Like, dude, I'm fucking pumped for that. I'm pumped for the Suicide Squad. You know what I mean? Like, dude, I'm
just
excited
for the
about all
record,
this shit.
just for the record, also let's put it out there. You're telling us on record you are confident they're going to make Justice League Part 2 with the whole cast again.
See, that's a difficult thing. Like, I think Zach wants it. I think the studio wants it. It's okay.
It's expensive.
But you get these high end, you get these high end actors. Now, this is going to sound crazy, and I'm not speaking like I know for a fact. But if they were to do this, I mean, if we were thinking like, I think Band of Brothers was the most expensive fucking episode. One episode, it was like $23 million. I wouldn't be surprised if they did another 6 to 8 episode season, and it comes out to 250 to 300 million. I mean, I
believe that if they do the if they did a
why
movie, it would be cheaper. Like they got The Rock and Ryan Reynolds and Gal and a Netflix movie. Like you can do a movie, but yeah, to do the whole series, it'll be complicated with agents involved. But all right,
now, and
he's
the
on
other
there.
thing too is that they could work it out with schedule wise, because if you do it in a scheduling, you could do certain scenes all in a row without with some actors.
I would be shocked if they get it. Not even. I don't mean that as a shot at Zach. I don't know how you
No, I
budget.
know.
I don't know how you get the budget to pull that off. So that's a hard one to me. Myra, thank you. I'm sorry, but Fisher is hurting the Snyder Cut. What he's doing is turning people away. Fandom got people hyped, but Fisher took that away. Fisher has constantly made it about him. Right, Jody, you called it. Right before fandom, right after fandom. He's always dropping something to keep his name in the thing, and it's like, I don't know. It's weird if you're calling out that show the proof
that
then if you want it out there.
attention, baby.
He needs the attention. That's why he's on his Twitch streams, and you know it, everybody. Yeah, you know me. It just feels like somebody
NDA. I
who
can't say
needs to,
something 'cause
yeah.
the NDA,
And then
the
suddenly he
NDA.
doesn't need to, Jody. It's very strange to me. Stefania, I got yours earlier. Thank you for that. You were right. You need to, if you make an accusation, the burden of proof is on you to provide evidence. And then Uche, thank you for watching. You gonna call someone racist? Better bring proof, facts. And that's where things, I think, turned here for Ray. And I do genuinely think that's going to be that's going to be a problem for him. That did not help the cause. That's why I don't. When you said, "Oh, Joss is the one who's in trouble," I couldn't disagree more. The fact that Joss had the patience to sit it out until now,
playing chess.
and for anybody out there who's accused, Joss did it brilliantly because he actually didn't get in the weeds. When someone's accusing you, right, or someone's out there, the thing they want is your attention. They want you to respond. They want you to deny. They want you to sue. The fact that Joss gave Ray nothing takes so much willpower that I was impressed he didn't come out and just come swinging. But no, what did he do? He waited until Ray finally dropped something specific that Joss could be like, are you kidding me? No. Boom, legal, and then Joss didn't even say anything. His legal, his team, they all went through multiple places. Dude, that was a baller move. Whether Joss is a jerk or not, I don't know. But all I know is based off of the PR moves, Joss slayed him on that and then got the guy fired. And now the article says that the guy didn't do a reputable article.
Well,
that is a terrible thing for journalists.
He was a contributor. I mean, it's.
But look, and I'm not trying to knock the guy. I don't know the guy, but that is not going to help him get another job at a reputable firm. That's going to be a problem for him, and that sucks. Maybe Ray did miss whatever. Maybe it's Ray's fault, not Shiraz's fault.
But here's the other thing. I'll tell you this though. It was bullshit that he got fired because all he did was just write the interview. He didn't use any of his own bias. He didn't use anything that he was saying to interject in that interview. He literally just took what Ray was saying. The editors at Forbes knew what the fuck the interview was. It's not like he published it without anybody knowing. So you know what? Fuck Forbes for doing that.
So
at the end of the day,
that's
they're in the wrong.
But your phone call, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's Ray.
You know
so
what?
you're acknowledging.
That's my point.
Hold on. You're acknowledging. Then it's Ray's doing, right? The quote, for Ray to have not evidence and say that. Ray shouldn't have been so careful. He should have followed the NDA,
Forbes,
right, Jody?
And you asked, I think you had asked me earlier, you're like, so you blame Forbes? And I said, yes, I do. Because at the end of the day, Forbes knew what the article was coming out. They knew everything about it. They reached out to Whedon. Whedon didn't respond before they posted it. They posted it, and then they basically backpedal.
So
now,
who do you think reached out?
Saying,
who do you think reached out? You think it was Joss's legal? You're saying Warner Brothers scared them? Why do you think Forbes, as we wrap this up, why do you think Forbes did that change?
I don't know. I mean, I can't tell you why.
Emmerich.
That's what
and that's okay, and that's cool. And if that's what the case is, guess what? It doesn't help his case that the writer is a person of color. Okay, regardless, it doesn't help.
Come on,
no,
bro.
don't go
I'm
there.
just telling you.
That should have nothing to do with it.
Listen to
Careful,
what I'm
man.
saying. All I'm saying is it doesn't help the fucking case. Okay.
Well, only if they make it about that, and only if the fan base makes it about it, which is what the fan base did. They immediately jumped on the race card, which is what Ray's doing. And both instances, it's like that we're doing a lot in this climate, and I think that's dangerous.
Everybody, man. The only thing I can tell you is literally from what I see.
It should have but for true equality, it should have no basis what his skin color was for whether it's about the work he did. We're supposed to treat him differently because he's not white? I mean, what does that even mean?
Let me ask you this. Where was he in the wrong for publishing that article? Why should he get the brunt?
But I heard you. That is a fair argument that we could have. But to make it about his race, not having
I didn't say anything about his race. I'm saying it looks worse for Toby if he really did call him. Because Toby is being accused, right?
It only is worse it's only is worse if Shiraz was telling the truth. And if Ray's telling the truth. But the reality is Forbes and Forbes' legal did not feel confident and put their own cred on the line, and they look stupid. I think we all agree Forbes looks stupid here. They took the L because they realized we're going to get sued. And then their legal department didn't feel confident in taking, because when I know that well, I've worked in plenty of these places. It's all risk factor. It's all about the risk factor. What is the risk averse? Will we win this? How much is it going to cost us to win this? And the journalistic territory. Look at the Sun, Johnny Depp, right? They decided, and they lied. They lied, and they still put out and spent a fortune to prove that they didn't lie, even though they did. And they decided to stand up for it. Forbes was like, "We're not dealing with that. Clearly, what Ray shared with us isn't worthy. We're not gonna fight that fight for Ray." That's damning for Ray. It doesn't help him at all. Final thoughts as we wrap this up, and Garza. Final thoughts, and then I'm going to wrap up with Jody. But Jody, real quick, we'll give Garza the final word there. But Jody, anything you want to say to him before we let him go?
I always like when people come into the arena and able to give the dialogue and the discussion peacefully. My mind did get wrecked quite a few times, bro, and it's gonna take some recovery. God damn. But I respect the fact that you came here and you didn't give the insults and didn't have nothing like a cultist, bro. So that's how. And when I put that tweet out, I didn't know that was you. I just saw. I know. That's why I said, "What the freak?"
And again, even my quote tweet, like I was again fucking around. Like I didn't. You know what I mean? Like that's like if you notice me, like I mentioned, dude, I get hated on by a lot of Snyder fans too. Like
check out Real Anarchy. I appreciate you Garza coming on. I like that we can be civil. I told you if I got a problem, I will come to you because we've managed to be civil to each other. So I'm glad we were able to continue that here. I don't feel like we did get toxic or lose our cool. So that's what it's about when we can do that. I do really appreciate that. So thank you, my man. Enjoy tonight's craziness on TVs with actual crazy darknesses in the world.
Yeah, dude.
I'm glad. I gotta say, I got so distracted in this conversation, I forgot that's happening tonight.
I know.
Thank you, everybody.
I was like, oh shit.
We took ourselves to a completely different nerd world, and I was like, oh man, that's happening next. So thank you for the distraction. All right, Garza, thank you. I appreciate it. We'll be in touch. Take you later, man.
Thank you, sir.
See you later.
Thanks,
bye, everybody.
Deuces.
No. Hit that subscribe button. No.
Click a video.